ngayon ng News TV Quick Response Team sa harapan ng Korte Suprema kung saan ay nagsuguran kanina ang mga realistang pabor na ipatigil na ang impeachment proceedings dito sa Senado. Pasado alas 4 na po na mag-aalisan ng mga realista, kaya nakikita ko natin sa ating paligid may mga naiwang basura, pati na yung kanilang mga dalang mga placards at mga streamers ay naiwan na po dito sa kahabaan nitong Padre Paura. Pero mapapansin mo natin, nakakadaan na ngayon ang mga sasakyan dito dahil kanina ay bahagyang isinara ito dahil nga sa dami ng dumating dito na ayon sa MPD ay hindi bababa sa 7,000 katao. Samantala, nagpapatuloy po ang impeachment trial sa Senado kung saan binubusisi pa rin ang mga bank accounts ni Chief Justice Renato Corona. Panoorin po natin ito.
Account statement at pangatlo yung order of the court. Thank you, Mr. President, and my apologies to the gentleman from Iloilo.
Mr. President, I will not continue the discussion right now, but before we go on, may we just know from the witness if she needs to go to the restroom. I have been 9 months pregnant at one time, and she's been sitting for an hour, so just as a matter of courtesy.
Thank you, Your Honor, for the consideration.
Madam
Okay
Witness, do you want to be excused for a while?
No, Your Honor. Pwede lang pong makainom ng tubig.
Mr. President, if there are no questions to the witness, why don't we discharge her until the next session?
The gentleman from Iloilo first.
Meron daw, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I wish to add my voice and hopefully clarify the whole thing. The first, just limiting it to the BPI, the first set of documents were those produced by the witness this afternoon, which shows the cash position of Chief Justice Corona as of December 31 of 2005, etc., up to December 31, 2010. The ending cash position as of December 31, 2010 is 12,024,067 pesos. Now, that's the first set of documents. The second set of documents, Mr. President, will be the monthly statements from 1989.
No.
19 what?
2005.
2005. From 2005 up to 2010, which in effect, the depositor has given his consent through counsel for the examination. So that's this. I don't think there is any dispute there. Whether or not it is covered by the subpoena is immaterial because the depositor has given his consent through his counsel.
Just a minute. 2005 or 1989?
I do not know, sir.
The opening of the account was 1989.
Yes.
Isn't it, witness?
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
so all right.
2005 only, sir. Oh, Your Honor.
Huh?
2005, Your Honor.
You are asking only for 2005.
No, Your Honor.
He is consenting to 2005 up to 2010.
No, we have, if I may be permitted to...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We went this far, Your Honor, because it is not very clear to us what the prosecution wanted to prove by these documents, Your Honor. If they are merely proving that the accounts or the amount reflected in the state in these accounts were not included in the SAL, then they have gone too far, Your Honor. To us, it appears as though they are now prosecuting a case of violation of the anti-graft law or forfeiture proceedings, Your Honor. Because apparently there seems to be no need for this. Only one account may be sufficient, Your Honor. Now, we do not want to assume that the correctness of their statement relative to the amount involved because apparently it prejudiced the public, Your Honor. Ayun pala, 12 million and so on. But that 12 million covers a lot of
Yes, without arguing on what is it,
No,
I'm just asking about the facts, and I'm trying to set the record straight what documents are to be produced. And may I continue? All right.
So it is 2005, huh?
Yes.
Your Honor.
Or to 2010.
That's correct. All right. So the bank statement, monthly bank statements from January 2005 up to December 31, 2010 will be examined by counsels and will be produced before this court for the individual senators, jurors. The third set of documents which are now being debated upon, is the request of Senator Osmeña. The issue here is whether or not the SALN reflects the assets of Chief Justice Corona as of December 31 of the pertinent period. Now, Senator Osmeña is saying that apart from these accounts, there could be other monetary instruments which were existing as of December 31 of any particular year to show a difference between what is stated as assets in the SALN and what actually exists, whether in the form of a checking account, a savings account, time deposits, and other monetary instruments as of December 31, 2000, ending 2010. And this is for the information of Senator Osmeña and the members of the court who may be interested in that. It is not evidence for either side. This is, in effect, an evidence for the court. That is certainly allowed and not covered and limited by our subpoena. I repeat, this, in effect, is a document that a judge is asking for. It can be an exhibit for the court. And the exhibit that the information being asked is whether or not, as of December 31 of a year ending, the SALN correctly reflects the assets of the respondent. That same rule will apply to PS Bank. So that is our submission, Your Honor.
At any rate, the chair has already ruled to allow the request of the senator from Cebu.
Mr. President, Senator Arroyo, and Senator Lacson, and then Senator Arroyo wishes to be recognized.
Senator Lacson has the floor.
I have maybe a couple of questions for the witness, Mr. President. Madam Witness, if I provide you with a sequence of check serial numbers, no? Obviously this was issued by BPI. If I provide you with a sequence of check serial numbers, will you able to tell this court if this check serial number was issued by your branch? For example, there's a check serial number 00004044774. There's another one 0000404,870. So sequential po ito na magkakasunod. Another one 0000404,955. So kung hindi po ngayon, pwede pong pagbalik nyo sa Lunes, kung hindi pa kayo nanganganak. Kung ibigay ko po sa inyo ito, ma-identify nyo kung nanggaling po sa bangko nyo ito.
Your Honor, I can only identify if the check is issued by the account holder of from my branch through the account number po at saka yung address nung
kung account name po. Hindi po account number, kundi account name associated with the check serial number or numbers.
By serial number po, hindi ko po ma-identify.
So, salamat po. Yun lang po.
Thank you.
Well,
no, may reference, Mr. President, para hindi ako pagbintangan na nagsasaliksik dito. Yung ding exhibit na i-submitted dito sa korte. Exhibit quadruple C, Exhibit quadruple C-1, and Exhibit quadruple C-2. Kasi ito po yung ginamit na pambayad. Ito mga check serial numbers na ito, ang ginamit na pambayad doon sa Unit 38B sa Biladyo. Isang 5 million, isang 5 million, at isang 4.510225 million pesos.
Again po, I can only identify through the account number and through the signature po nung kliyente namin.
Not
by serial number or by account name.
Salamat po.
Thank you.
All right, Senator Arroyo. Gentleman from Makati and Bicol.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will not discuss the pro and con of the issue before us. But the way I understand it, what is at issue is the effect of our decision in caucus. And the resolution, the agreement was embodied in a resolution, formal resolution. Since that is an agreement in caucus, and we are going to amend it, and that is the issue, we should also take that up in caucus. Because we cannot be arguing here among us. In a collegiate body like the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, the Sandigan Bayan, the Court of Tax Appeals, the judges and justices do not agree and do not disagree in public. They go to their chambers and then they discuss it, because especially in a nationally televised proceeding, there will be speculation as to the tendency, or rather the leanings of each member, and I think it would not be fair. So my respectful submission is that we started that in caucus, and if we change it, we have to decide it in caucus, but not publicly. That's my respectful submission, Mr. President.
May I suggest, if to avoid this discussion like this, that henceforth when we go into a caucus, those who have some special concerns, they should submit in writing to the presiding officer their requested suggestions or proposals, so that when we discuss in these things in caucus, then we take minutes of the caucus so that we'll have a basis, so that we will not be groping. And my recollection really is that we were deciding the request for subpoena filed by the prosecution. We did not touch on the request of fellow senators who are sitting as judges in this proceeding. So, and we are confronted also with a development like a request from the Defense Counsel, motu proprio, to ask for the bank records of his clients over a certain period of time. Now, so that we will not have any misunderstanding among ourselves, I'm sure that, and to facilitate our proceedings, I would suggest that on Monday, I would respectfully request the members of the court to submit in writing their proposals so that we will have a record of these things. Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, Mr. President, just a few questions sa ating witness. Magandang hapon.
If you have any question, what is the, may I just, with your permission, request the pressure of the senator from Taguig? Are you going to ask questions or?
Actually, no, Mr. President, with the indulgence of Senator Pangilinan, I was going to comment on his Honor's statement. So if I may, so that we can conclude this issue. Precisely, Mr. President, why I stood up was because the request of some of our colleagues, and I thank Senator Osmeña for the clarification, because his request for year ending December 31 was consistent as discussed in caucus, I stood up because some of the requests were different from what I remember was decided on in caucus, which is precisely why I just wanted to bring it to the attention of His Honor so that we can decide if everybody is amenable that we move forward and expand what was decided in caucus. I had no problem. I did not take a position.
Yes.
That is exactly what I was trying to do. But I would also like to mention in His Honor's suggestion that we put it in writing, the difficulty is that sometimes we cannot predict what issues would come about. So in other words, when we decided that December 31 was the year ending, it would not have come to mind then that I indicate that this is a matter important to me because I just assumed that it was what was agreed upon. So sometimes we will just have to raise our hands and point out that is this different from what was agreed upon, and can we go back to caucus and discuss it if other people have the same view.
Yes.
That is my only desire, Mr. President.
Yes, but I would urge everybody so that we can remember all the subject matter of discussion, to please submit to me your special request for consideration, and I'll make a file of this.
Yes, I submit. I'm looking at my colleagues. I think many will have a hard time putting everything in writing, but perhaps we could just request His Honor if he could accommodate our concerns if we take note that there may be something that is outside of the scope of the, and if he could give, indulge us and allow us to just raise the point so that perhaps it could be included in the agenda for the following caucus.
I assure you,
Thank
I'm
you.
open to any discussion of anything coming from the members of the court. The gentleman from Pampanga.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gandang hapon ulit, Madam Witness. Okay naman po kayo?
Good afternoon po.
You're
Yes.
doing okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Magiging boy ba o girl yung...
Girl po.
Girl. Oh. Baka magiging senador din o abogado one day. Maybe the counsels for the prosecution or the witness can answer. No, my understanding is that the subpoena was supposed to be from 2000 documents from 2002 to 2010 when he was Associate Justice until now as Chief Justice, or is it only until 2005?
Your Honor, to answer your question, as per subpoena signed by the Honorable Senate President and presiding officer of this Honorable Court, the original and certified true copies of the opening documents,
2000.
the year is not indicated because we do not know when it was opened. But the bank statement or the bank balances for said account started with the year ending 31 December 2005, 2006,
I see.
up to 2010.
So, despite the fact na 1989 pa yung account na ito, ang hinihiling lang ng korte ay mula 2005.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kaya yun ang dinala ninyo.
Yes, Your Honor.
So kung hiniling ng korte yung bago 2005 mula 2002, dadalhin nyo rin, pero hindi yun ang hiningi. Tama po ba yun?
Depending on the availability of the documents, Your Honor.
Yes. Now, my second question is, if we are going to the monthly statements, is this up until 2000, from 2005, just to be clarified?
Yes.
Or even before 2005?
2005.
2005. Okay. Sige po, I just wanted that clarified. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Witness. Salamat.
Mr. President, earlier
Anything else?
yes, there was a manifestation by the by the defense that they will suspend the cross-examination. So with that,
Your Honor, please, just one or two housekeeping matters, Your Honor.
Proceed.
First, I would like this representation and the prosecution panel would very much appreciate if we can agree on the date and time now for the examination of those monthly statements.
We cannot agree yet on the date, Your Honor, because we were communicating with the Chief Justice And he mentioned to us that there were several statement of accounts with him. So as of this moment, I feel that
Yes.
if we have those statements, we need not go into the bank records, Your Honor, because he is the depositor, Your Honor.
Mr.
No,
President,
my understanding is, when are you going to the bank to examine the records? Is that correct?
Mr. President, may we excuse the witness while
Yeah.
they're discussing about housekeeping?
The witness is accused.
Your
Thank you,
Honor,
Your
please,
Honor.
with your kind indulgence, Your Honor, just one.
What is your pleasure? What is...
Yes, before the witness is discharged, ma'am, the witness identified and referred to a signature card. May I just please request that that be marked as exhibit septuple I, Your Honor.
Mark it accordingly. Now,
That's all, Your Honor.
now, you, counsel for the prosecution, you asked when you are supposed to go to the bank, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
To examine the documents.
As suggested by them, Your Honor.
Yes, that is what the prosecution requested. So what's the pleasure of the defense?
I was trying to tell the Honorable Court, Your Honor, that if the statement of accounts we wanted to examine are in the possession, had been kept intact by the depositor, then we will waive that particular request, Your Honor.
Point of
We were of the assumption when we made that manifestation, since we were not furnished with the
The witness is discharged.
statement of accounts, Your Honor, that the only alternative left will be to go into the bank records.
Well, the court directs the prosecution and the defense counsel to arrange the time.
Mula po dito sa harapan ng Korte Suprema, sa ngalan po ni Jiki Manikad, ako po si Susan Enriquez, ito ang News TV Quick Response Team, sumusugod kahit saan sa ngalan ng katotohanan.